Welcome back to another episode of the Real Life Investing Podcast with Jason and Rachel Wagner. Today we're going back into real estate when we actually have a former client of mine, Dubois Toy, is here. All right. Here, you got to talk into the mic a little bit. There you go, bro.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Good, man. Good. Hey, Dubois, we have to start off with this because I think that you're going to bring so much knowledge about you're a veteran. Mm-hmm. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you for your support. Appreciate it. Yeah.
But you did something that is just absolutely incredible. I'm looking at a closing statement right here. You bought a property that was purchase price $369,000.
Yes.
You put down an earnest money deposit of $3,000.
Yes, I did.
And then you got a check back at closing for $2,600. $3,000 minus $2,600 is $400. You bought a property for $400, dude.
Yes, absolutely. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, that's insane.
Thank you.
Like, what is that? And just how did you even come up with this? I mean, you and I were part of the deal together. Obviously, I represented you on it. But like, what is this? And tell us about the VA loan, the benefits that come from it, and everything there.
Okay, of course. Yeah. The earnest money was $3,000, and I got back about $2,700 like at closing.
Yep.
And it was wonderful because I was like, I got paid to be here and do this today, and that's wonderful. But it was all done with the VA loan, and that's because with the VA loan, not everyone gets the 0% down, but certain like veterans at a certain rate of disability get to put the 0% down. I do have a certain rating because I have ailments that was affected during my service time. But the thing that a lot of people don't know is that the military medical system is different from the civilian. So if you really learn how to navigate that, you could in the military we're taught be tough, don't really go to medical and see yourself and everything. But you get out and then you realize you're not working as well, or certain parts of you isn't working as well as before, and you're like, wait a minute. So with that, I was able to get the 0% down VA loan. I think it's at you have to be 20 or 30%. And with that, I was able to purchase real estate with 0% down. This isn't the first time I did it.
Yeah, you've actually done 2 VA loans.
Yes.
In which you've kind of busted the myth where a lot of people think you only can use one VA loan.
A lot of people, yeah. Actually, and also, I also learned that only 35%, less than 35% of veterans even use their VA loan. So it's pretty crazy.
I actually do want to clarify that. So any veteran is eligible for one or a VA loan.
Yes.
Okay, and then just the amount you put down can vary based on what your disability status is, your percentage.
Yes.
Okay.
So of course you have to have a honorable or generable discharge. If you have a dishonorable, you're
not eligible.
Yeah, definitely not eligible. But with those 2 statuses, you will be eligible for a VA loan. And like you said, with a certain rating, you'll be able to do the 0% down. There's people that you can reach out to, like the VA, or having a caseworker that can help you with that. I wish I would have learned or knew about those resources when I got out, but I didn't. But I could drop those resources for everybody who's watching, or I can send you a link for with a package of those resources, of course.
For sure.
But yeah, I purchased these buildings 0% down every time, and when I get the check back, it's amazing. I kind of use that check, of course, to go towards anything that the building might need, or even stash away a little bit of an emergency fund with that. But it's a great feeling. Every veteran should use it. And, thinking about it,
why do you think veteran, like you said, you gave the stat, 35% of veterans are the ones using the VA. What are the other 65% doing? Are they just not aware of their benefits?
A lot of veterans aren't aware. If you talk to a lot of vets, unfortunately, they just don't the military today wasn't the same military. Yes, 5 years from now, and the one 5 years from now was definitely not the same military 5 years from that. So, man, dude, I've heard some crazy stories. Even I was talking to an Army guy the other day, and they like, since he didn't re-enlist like back in 2003, they literally just let him go in a DMZ, which is a demilitarized zone, which is like, if you have this militant over here, you're in Korea, like this is just a whatever zone. And they were supposed to ship him back home, but since he didn't re-sign up, they just like let him out in the streets over there and everything, like didn't really give him any help. Yeah, like it's a lot of horror stories with like how poor like the army and the military in general has not educated veteran or just military folks, like when they're getting out. Like even when I was getting out, like the things I know now, like versus the things they told me, like that was like literally only a slither of like the things they told me. Like a lot of it is me doing my own reading, my own research, having mentors who, you know, could help me and everything. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for my mentors. So like, it's just crazy because in order to be a successful veteran, like you really have to like have that type of tenacity to be willing to learn and navigate the veteran system and everything when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's just so interesting because it just seems like I know of a lot of people that are like, dude, you don't know this about, most people don't know this about the veterans, and like they don't know what their resources are. Maybe there's so many resources that there's never like, is there a class or is there ever, what are they teaching you when you're in there about like, hey, here's the help you can get when you get out? Do they have like a discharge, or do they have like some type of transition course that
TAP.
you take?
It's called TAP.
Okay.
Okay. But like, it's kind of like the free trial of something. Like it's not really the good version of like how powerful you really are as a veteran once you get out. And you, like I said, TAP definitely did a decent job, but like a lot of people getting out, I'm like, especially going to specific like areas, like even like in Chicago, like TAP can't really, like I was out in North Dakota, so they can't really tell me specific things out like in Chicago to do. Yeah. And there's YouTubers, oh my God, like Civ Div, Combat Craig. There's YouTubers out there who are like just teaching a bunch of stuff and helping millions of veterans out there.
Really? Those are great places to go.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Like
I think I've seen a number of just videos on, loan officers creating like, hey, this is the VA loan. This is how you can do it. And like talking about the entitlement. Like for your example, I actually had to look up. I'm like, dude, how did this guy get 2 VA loans? Because even in my mind, I was like, I don't think that's possible. But no, it is. And here, I want to go into like a little bit of the technicality here because I wanted to look it up on Grok. Okay, so all you got to do is just plug in a few things in AI. You can get a lot of great answers.
Right.
All right. And I took up your specific situation. Right. And so you bought your first property in like 2022, right, for like $385. I looked that up. And then you bought this last one for $389 about 2 or 3 years later. Right. All right, so here's how it goes. So in Cook County, you can buy multifamily properties because, all right, so it says in 2025, the VA loan limit for a 2-unit multifamily property in Cook County is $982,000. Okay, so that takes, the VA guarantees 25% of the loan. So you have like this entitlement of 25% of that value. So it's like, all right, it gives you a number here of $245. All right, so your first property, which was $385, uses $96,000 of the entitlement. So, like, how this it gets kind of confusing because it seems like the entitlement works as 25% of the value of the property. And so, if we know that in Cook County you have a total entitlement of $245, you just used for the first property, you've got $96,000 of the entitlement, which is 25% of your purchase price of the $385. Okay. Your remaining entitlement is about $150,000. Okay, so that allows you to, if you go and you still have a remaining entitlement. People think that like, oh, when you use your entitlement, like you've used it all and you actually can't use it again. But actually, no, there's like a limit here, right? So you still have, after your first property purchase, you still have $150,000 that's technically available for your entitlement. So how do we get to that second property? You bought it for $389. 25% of $389 is $97,000. Okay, you still have this about 150 that's available minus the 97. You still have entitlement. Dude, you actually have some entitlement available for a third VA loan.
No, I know.
Now it can't be as high of a purchase price. I actually had to ask this a little bit later. And like your purchase price would have to be like in the 200s, which is certainly a little bit harder to do in Chicago. But literally that is there's a calculation behind it. And one, you can talk to a loan officer that like specifically is in the VA world and does VA loans and can do those calculations for you. But you can also go to Grok or any AI and they can also give you the situation and run through it there.
So I was gonna say I think it's different. So and this is my impression. I might be wrong. So you get that full entitlement. First off, the reason I made that face is because the 900,000, a year ago that was like 800,000. So
So it just went up.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I got $100,000 more dollars. But so you get the full entitlement. That 25% is the percentage of the loan that the government backs.
Yep.
So they're saying like we'll back 25. If he defaults, we'll back 25%. So I used up my full $380,000 worth of entitlement with that first building. And then with the second one, I used another 360 with that. And then that should leave me with like, about 200, around $200,000 to $300,000 worth of entitlement. But, like I said to you guys before, I used to be an ethical hacker and a cybersecurity analyst, and I read documentation all day and I do API calls and programming. So I know how to look at some documentation and find some loopholes.
So are you saying that there's another loophole here that
absolutely.
I'm not aware of?
And then Jason, you told me this one of the first meetings you had. You were like, yo, you gotta partner up with people and like take smaller pieces of the pies. Yep. So I was like, maybe I can do a joint VA loan with another veteran. And that
would be interesting.
Yeah. And actually, you asked me about that one at one point, but I can't recall exactly what the answer was.
No, you can.
So yeah, you could totally do that.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the plan. Like, just team up with other private veterans that I know.
Hell yeah.
And just continue using like
low down payment strategies.
Yeah, low down payment strategies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask some questions about
Sure.
this?
Yeah,
So
of
we've
course.
talked about entitlement before when we had somebody else who was on the podcast who was a veteran. And I guess I envisioned entitlement as like a whole one thing, but you're saying it's a pot of like 900,000 basically.
Yes.
And there's 25% of that.
25%
and you split it.
of that, yeah.
Okay. So you could buy one $900,000 property, or you could buy multiple properties that accumulate up to that.
Yes.
Okay. So if you were to hypothetically partner then with another veteran, how would that work? Would the partnership, how you split your partnership 50-50, then take the entitlement 50-50 of each person? Or if you
could
did
do it.
25-75?
Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think they would take, if there's remaining entitlement that's available for Toy here, then but they could also, I don't know.
You could
Actually,
do
I'm
it.
speculating here.
You could do it any percentage. You could do it like 10-90, like.
Okay. And then do both
199.
partners have to be veterans in order for you to do that?
If
Okay.
one partner is a civilian, you will still have to put a down payment down.
Okay, because you're...
Got the VA that's backing 25%
Yeah.
of my loan. So they're like, and then I have the rating that allows me to put 0% down.
Okay.
So if I have other veteran friends who are just like me, then I'm like, yo, instead of us trying to put money in crypto and everything, let's get this free money to purchase this asset that's worth $400,000.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna give us $400,000 to
it's an
invest
amazing
in crypto.
hack.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you
It's
also,
an amazing hack,
you
yeah.
also talked about like the disability, right? So from my understanding is that the disability is actually, it's kind of easier to get a disability percentage. Like I know of a lot of veterans, and you might ask them like, oh yeah, they actually have a disability, right? And then there's certain percentages that help you on the property taxes, right? So once you get over a certain threshold of a percent disability, you're able to freeze or reduce your property taxes. I don't think it's a freeze. It's a reduction of the property taxes.
Dude, so I was talking to this very well-educated lawyer. He does like, I think he's a lawyer. He does financial literacy, and he does like will and trust and showing all that. And he broke down how the EVA works. Like, so it's like, I can't do it for you guys, but it's weird, like to the point where I thought it was $250,000 like off of your property, but no, it's like calculated a certain way to where you could have like a $2 million property. Like, and when he broke it down to me like this, I was like, so you telling me I could have a $2 million property in Oak Park and not pay no property taxes on it? Because like, it divides your property like by a certain thing, and then it reducts that 250,000 off the percentage of like, it's some weird math, but it's crazy because you look at it for face value and then you'd be like, oh, I want to get 250,000. But then when you run the calculation, you're like, oh wait, this is done differently. Okay, I get way more than $250,000 off then. So,
and what is all right? So there's eligibility. Okay, so I'm grokking this right now. Right. Okay, 100% disability rating often qualifies for full property tax exemptions in many states, and then there's partial disability. Okay, some states have caps. All right, let's go to Illinois.
Can I ask another entitlement question while you're
Go ahead.
researching this?
Yep.
So as you pay down your loan and your equity goes up, does that free up some of your...
Yes.
Okay. So
Entitlement.
over time, some of your entitlement. Okay. Okay.
That's what I like about it. I was like, if I could just get, $380,000 somehow.
Yeah, right. Pay it off and then, okay.
Unfortunately, the only way I could do that now is by dying and, having my life insurance policy.
So do you have to refinance every time to unlock that entitlement?
Yeah, you would have to.
You would. Okay.
But
So it's not like it happens monthly. It's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you do that, you got to make sure that you have, I think, at least 20% of equity in the property, so you don't have to pay PMI. Because with the VA loan, you don't have to pay PMI.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
I think
Good to know.
I found this.
Yeah,
here.
it's right here.
Yeah.
My bad.
All right. So if you've got a disability between 30 and 49%, you can get $2,500 off your equalized assessed value.
That equalized assessed value is a calculation. It's not your whole value of your property.
Right.
It's a portion of the value of your property.
Yep. And then if you have a disability between 50 to 69%, you have $5,000 off your equalized assessed value. But if your disability is between 70 and 100%, that is full exemption of property taxes.
Pretty much. It's because the EVA, you could have a $2, $3, $4 million property, and when I learned that, my pride a little bit was like, get a $4 million property.
and have full exemption, right?
What is equalized assessed value? Who determines that?
Yeah, so the equalized assessed value. So actually, in Cook County, how it is, I'm pretty sure. So you've got your, so all property taxes are judged based off of the market value of what the county assumes it at. Okay. And typically in Cook County, the equalized assessed value, I'm pretty sure, is 10% of that. So you always just kind of move the decimal point over. Actually, we can hear it. For example, if I were
if you have a $100,000 property, based on the comps that they pull, they're going to say your equalized assessed value is $10,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So hold on. If I go to the Cook County portal,
That made me smile so hard when I learned that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna type in ours real quick because we're in Cook County, and
You can also stack tax exemptions as well. So there's a veteran homestead exemption. So don't just think you can do one and not take the other. I always stack my exemptions every year.
tax calculator.
If you live with a senior citizen, you better take that senior citizen exemption for real.
Yeah.
Because it's really good too.
Okay, the assessment information. So here it is. This is the assessed value. So for some reason they're saying our property is worth $490.
That's okay.
Okay, that's fine, right? Typically that's what it is, right? It's the county thinks that your property is worth a lot less than what the actual market value is.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then the assessed value, how they come up with that is it's just 10%, right? And then they do the calculation all of how your taxes are calculated based off of that assessed value. So I'm pretty sure the equalized assessed you would be. So they start with that 10% number, and then they bring it down, and then they have the deduction. So if he would have gotten like 5,000 off, so it says 49,000 is our assessed value. So minus the 5,000, it would be at 44, right? So that's how they would do the taxes there.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah. Anyways, so yeah, all good stuff. So
Definitely.
so I'm just curious. Are you willing to share what your disability status is, or?
Nah.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know if that's a sensitive question, and yeah,
It is a little bit.
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, no, that's
Veterans don't like answering that question, and it's protected by the law.
Oh,
In a sense.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, forgive me.
No, you're all good. It's okay, man. Like, this is a podcast. I know you're gonna ask questions. This is all good. But yeah, like I said, like, veterans just need to realize, like, this is about getting a top tier investment, because no other investment tool. And like, of course, I'm living here. This is my home, but I mean, if my home could be an investment, then why not? You know, this is America. We're allowed to do that. So, I mean, we're able to get 1 to 4 unit buildings. So we do that. And you could do it with no PMI. You could reuse it, and you can even pair it with like a jumbo VA loan. I know you guys don't probably know this either, but no, you're all good. I'm gonna tell you this little gem as well. Each county has their VA limit, right? So you just said how Chicago has I think you said $900,000. So there, most counties, it's about like, and this was like last year, I was doing this research at least. Most counties, the limit is $800,000 for your VA entitlement. However, you have those, not counties, counties, states, whatever. You have those states and counties who are a bit, okay, we know this is expensive. So if you go to places like New York, California, Hawaii, I think in Alaska, like places like that, your VA entitlement actually goes up to, I think, 1 to 2 or 1.4 mil.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it varies by state, it varies by county. Yep, for sure.
So even if I did run out of my VA entitlement here, I could just go to Hawaii and like.
See, you are the loophole, man.
Just go to Hawaii.
Wow. Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. I actually didn't think about it from that perspective. But yeah, no, that's a cool thing, right? So you're bringing a lot of knowledge of like, all right, here's how you can utilize the benefit. And boy, Rachel, I don't know if you heard this, but if you max out your benefit here in Illinois, there might be a higher benefit that you could go to like Alaska or Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you can like take the rest of that piece of pie from, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's a great thought. That's a great thought. All right, let's see. What else?
So I guess we've kind of covered this, but a little more directly. The VA loan is not commercial, only residential, but you can buy multifamily, so 1 to 4 units with the VA loan, right? Okay.
You can do condos, you could do townhomes, you could do single family homes.
Right. Any residential status.
Any residential.
Any residential status. Okay.
You can do commercial.
You can.
What?
Okay, yeah. So I want to know
Do I
about
need
that.
to grok this too?
That's gonna be extra. I'm gonna leave that in the notes. But yeah, you definitely. I found a way. You could definitely.
So like,
Okay, no, we
mean
want
like
to know
mixed
about
use?
that.
You could do mixed use. You could do up like you could do 15, 20. You just got to get super creative with it though. Like I read the guidelines.
So you're saying you can buy a 20 unit apartment building with a VA loan?
Yep.
What?
Okay.
No
Yeah.
way.
I don't believe it.
Grok isn't gonna help you here.
In any
It's not-
state?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just how creative you are when you do it. Like, and if you
so
like,
do you have to like split your loans?
yeah,
Okay.
like, it's something. You could use a whole VA loan.
Okay.
I get Jason's like, wait, hold
I'm
on.
I'm digging into it, man.
It's a loophole.
All right,
It's a loophole.
all right, the instant reply is no. You cannot use a VA loan to purchase a 20-unit apartment building. VA loans are designed for residential property, specifically 1 to 4
smarter
unit
than
homes.
Gronk, you guys. Isn't that so awesome?
Because he's the hacker. He's the ethical hacker.
The ethical hacker, yeah. I didn't know what that was. You had to explain that to me.
All right. Well, you're going to have to go into that. All right. So what do you think, or how do you work around that?
So this is you feel me? Okay, like this is extra, you guys. I'm dropping gems right here for real. And this is the last
Can't
one.
be found with AI, so it can only be found with Toy here.
Only be found with me in this podcast right now.
Yeah.
So basically, how you do it is if two veterans, and this you have to like, bro. I read 2,000 pages of the VA Lender's Handbook.
Okay.
And like I like when it comes to okay, let me reel it back. My mentor had got on me like real bad. He was like, why are you trusting a realtor or a loan officer to like help navigate you through this? You should read the documentation so you know and like you know the rules and go through it. Because he was like, so like there's realtors and there's a lot of like people out there who just know how to sell the product, but they don't actually like know the nitty gritty of the product.
For sure, yeah.
Kind of like you know how McDonald's cooks know how to make a burger, but like outside of a McDonald's burger, they don't really know how to like, you know, they don't really know the essence of a burger type thing. So yeah, through reading it, I learned a lot of things with a lot of loans that people say you can't do that you actually can do. And I read the VA handbook, and it actually says that if two veterans buy a building, then it could be up to an extra unit for each veteran. So if you buy a 4-unit with 2 veterans, you'd have 2 extra units for 2 veterans, which you can buy a 6-unit, which me and my friend are about to do.
Interesting.
Wait, I didn't follow it.
So each veteran you can get an extra unit, which means the total property can have up to 6 units, right? So individually you can buy 1 to 4, but if you have 2 people coming together, you can buy a 6-unit, up to a 6-unit.
Oh, because you can get the extra unit.
Yeah, because you have an extra veteran in. They have this special clause where it's like each veteran can have their own unit. That's like a special clause in a thing. So if each veteran can have their own unit, they said you could do that infinitely. Even if it's 7 veterans, that'd be an additional unit. I mean, not 7. If it's 3 veterans that's going in to get an apartment building, now you have a 7-unit because that extra veteran that came in needs his unit. So theoretically, if 21 veterans came together, then yeah, we could buy a 21-unit apartment building.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was wondering that.
So
I was like, how big
crosses,
of like a syndicate you could put together here to buy like a massive apartment building.
And it doesn't matter crossing the threshold of residential into commercial?
So that's how I'm about to buy a commercial building with 0% down, and you're about to watch me collect another check.
All right, we're gonna watch you do it.
Yeah, that's insane.
We're gonna have you come back on as soon as you pull it off. Wow, dude,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay,
Thanks.
wow. All right, there
I
you
guess
go.
because they must be looking at it as like each veteran is going to occupy one of those units as their own, and then the remainder is allowed for your investment purposes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Hold on. What if I just say, what if 4 veterans? Come on, Grok, you got to be able to give me some answers.
Grok's listening right now, though.
I know. What if
Trying to
4
absorb this and
veterans?
re-spit it out.
Yeah,
Come
depending on the
together.
city you guys go to, veterans, like you can have like a lot of vehicle perks to when it comes to license plates and like parking. I get vehicle perks here in Chicago because of that. Please check like for your local programs to help, like if you're facing homelessness. I have a couple friends who...
Whoa. You got it, bro.
I know I do.
It says, yes, it may be possible for 4 veterans to use a VA loan to purchase a 7-unit building, but there are specific conditions that must be met. All right. And so it goes into it. But like, bro, wow. Let's go.
Thanks, man. See, this is why people need me on their team, bro. Because
Yeah.
I be in it. I be in the nitty gritty of things.
That is the nitty gritty.
Thanks.
Wow, I did not
Yeah.
realize that. Holy shit.
I'm glad I was able to bring that type of value in the podcast.
Yeah.
I made Jason say holy shit.
Yeah.
On the
I mean,
podcast.
that's a mind blown scenario there, right? Because what's funny is that when you ask the question one way, you get a no response. But then when
Yeah.
you rephrase it, but wait a second, but what if I do this? Oh, well, yeah, no, we can make it happen, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about asking how, right? And I think you've been able to figure that out. Is like, how can I do this?
It was really so it wasn't even that, man. Like I said, it was my mentor like being like, read this so you can fully have all the power. And I just read everything, and when I was reading, I was like, oh snap, this is why he said to do that. And it was really just through reading and, like I said, searching for loopholes. Even when I was a kid, like my mom and dad could tell you, I love bending the rules. Like I love figuring out ways, well, you said this, so I did this instead, but I didn't break the rules, like type thing. And like now, like it just grew into this, like where I'm like, okay, I want to do this. My mentor gave me like the light and everything, like how like I know I could do all these cool type of creative financing. That's what I really feel like creative financing is, like bending the rules, because
Yeah.
a lot of normal consumers don't do or use creative financing. And not like using it with the VA loan is just very like fulfilling. Like it's awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, man. No, I love it. Well, because so I've just been on the other side of that where, I've been able to partner with people that were doing the FHA loans. And like, a lot of people think you can only have one FHA loan, but like if you do, which is kind of the case, but I own buildings that have multiple FHA loans because of this partnership deal where you find somebody else. Oh. Right. So they live in the property, they get the loan, but I am on title because I'm helping them split the deal, right? Giving them the mentorship and making sure that it's successful. So that's kind of one of the cool perks. And I think that's what you were alluding to a little bit, was like, Jason is able to kind of like partner with first-time house hackers. They utilize their FHA benefit to buy a property with lower down payments. I'm there to help split the monetary involvement in that, and then we own the building. We split the building that way. So that's how we can technically kind of have multiple FHA loans, but it's not really, the debt's not in my name, and the debt is in the partner's name.
Now that's genius.
I don't know why a lot of people like don't do that, right?
I didn't even think of that. I was like, damn, that was pretty smart.
Yeah. So, but it's along the same lines, right? It's like if you were going to come together, again, it's all about like finding people that kind of have the same mindset and the same goals, and it's all like, we know that because of How I Met You was a real estate meetup, right? And when you go to real estate meetups, you meet people that are like-minded.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You just start talking, and like over time, you build relationships with people, and like, maybe you get crazy enough, and you're like, dude, take a look at this deal. Like, what do you think? And you want to do it together, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I appreciated your help, and like Jason has even like looked over a couple of my deals or one of my deals, and like helped run the numbers and everything and make me more confident in the deal. So I appreciate that. And yeah, man, like you said, networking events, your network is your net worth. Like, dude, if you're a real estate investor and you're not going to at least 2 meetups a month, you're doing something wrong, bro. Like you have to be connecting with other real estate investors. You have to be in that like line of intelligence of like intel from different real estate investors about what's going on in the market. Like, what are they doing? Like me and Jason having this high level conversation right now, like, these things wouldn't happen if, like Jason said, we weren't around like-minded people. So, the real estate meetups are like legit, like 100%.
And most of them are free, man. It's
exactly.
Like, and that's the cool part.
Yeah,
is that,
for sure.
And people actually like want to reach out their hand and say like, oh, hey, who are you?
Yeah.
And all you gotta do is walk in the door.
Are there any veteran real estate meetups in Chicago?
Yeah, actually, that's how we met. So Andrew Durazio.
Oh, okay.
He runs
one specific for veterans.
Yeah, one specific for veterans.
Okay.
And that's how because Andrew asked me to be a speaker at his.
Okay.
And so I presented, and that's how I met Toy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Small world.
So there is. So yeah, we'll have to drop Andrew Durazio's veteran meetup, and no, I'm pretty sure that they're still doing it. You probably went to a recent one. I haven't been in a little bit, but
I went to a recent one. There definitely needs to be more. I've been looking to host my own. I started a veterans real estate guild like for Chicago group on Facebook.
Nice.
I was definitely gonna try to like invite you to the page, like so you could like drop your knowledge and all your stuff on the page and everything. I'm pretty sure a lot of veterans would need it and appreciate it. And yeah, I'm just trying to build a centralized space for veterans that want to learn and like grow, whether it comes to being just a simple homeowner or, you know, a landlord, or even if they have programs or things they want to do outside of that. I also wanted to touch on that because I didn't know this. I didn't know this before, but when I first got my building, there's a bunch of like state training programs that the state gives you, veterans to help like learn different things. Like, of course, we all know you have the GI Bill, but here in Illinois, we have the IVG grant as well. And you can use that at any trade school or college on this list to like learn different skills for free. Home Depot also has like a bunch of different contractors or carpentry classes that veterans can like use. But it literally took me awesome. Like searching, like, it's not like a lot of people, there are veteran fairs that goes on, don't get me wrong, but usually they're in the middle of the day where like people are working, you know. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people can go to those type of events. So it's taking me taking off work, researching this stuff to actually build these resources. And now I'm just like, I see other veterans who are either homeless or like trying to get a home, like to move out in their own space, or like trying to be a landlord and everything. And like I said, like the information is not really in a centralized space. You have to kind of go out and really hunt for it. But I want to bring all that information to a centralized space for veterans and just normal people as well. So definitely look out for those types of programs. Even when it comes to, you know, you owning your own home, like those type of programs to fix things around the house can be instrumental, because my neighbor actually helped me. Like, I have good neighbors and then I have neighbors from hell, but like my good neighbor taught me how to replace a water tank, like taught me how to do like a lot of stuff, like walked me around my apartment building and showed me like certain things. When I first moved there, I was just introducing myself to like the neighbors and everything, like each of my neighbors, and I saw him working on his property and I was like, yo, I hope you work on your property if you help me work on mine. And that, like, dude, that created a relationship that helped me so much over the years. He invested in real estate. His wife did property management and everything, and I was able to learn a lot from Jonathan and his wife. And I'm really appreciative of that. And like on the flip side, I do have neighbors from hell little Chihuahua gets out and goes around trying to run after people, pooping in people's yards. And dude, their kid even totaled my car, like ran into the back of it and everything. Ugh. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, thank God, like, you know, my girlfriend has a car now and like we can use her car. But and I could buy my own car, I just don't want to right now. But it helped me identify the good ones that can help, and then the ones who might be a little bit of trouble. Mm-hmm. And I also want to give out resources to help people. I'm gonna try to send you over a link and other people, like 311, calling the police, or animal patrol when dogs get out, like building a trail of things, you know, taking pictures or having security cameras will help your case when dealing with those neighbors from hell, to like calm them down. Because if you don't do anything, then of course they run wild. But I had to like look for resources and go through a bunch of things like, yo, what can I do to help keep them accountable, because they're causing problems for everybody. And it's just not acceptable. I even had to stand up for a couple of neighbors. Like, I had this one neighbor just throwing trash, and like I live next to a senior citizen who's also blind, and this woman would just throw trash in his yard. Like, and I'm just like, bruh, like, who raised you? Like, that's absolutely insane. You rent here, first off. This guy lives here and you're throwing trash in his lawn. So I had a confrontation with her a couple times and being like, yo, like, you can't do that. I stand up for the neighborhood because I live there and I pay property taxes. Like, not anymore, but still, when I was paying property taxes, I'm like, I looked at that bill and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, I'm paying for the school and I don't even have kids. Like, what?
Yeah. Right. It's not really fair, is it? Yeah. Do you have like is on your block? You know, sometimes when you go down the streets of Chicago, you see like "Welcome to the," 77th block or something, and like like they might have a sign that says "We protect each other." Like here's the rules or whatnot. Does your block kind of have like a little associate? It's like almost like a little homeowners association on the block, right?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Do you have anything like that?
So we just have good neighbors that kind of look out for each other. We have signs where it's like, pick up after your dog here and there. But like the block has definitely gotten a lot better over the years, and I've called like 311 to install stop signs on like some of the streets and everything, because we didn't even have stop signs like where they were supposed to be and people would be flying through. Now they got speed bumps and everything so people can slow down. And the neighborhood, dude, Austin, like, oh bro, when I first bought my property, when I first bought that first property over there in Austin, and then I went to your meetup and you were like, yeah, Austin was the #1 appreciating neighborhood in Chicago this year.
You're like, oh, baby.
Yes.
Sometimes we get lucky.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, yo, I guess that's awesome. So lucky. So, yeah, dude, Austin has like changed a lot over the past couple years, like completely different. And that's probably because it's next to Oak Park. And there was a lot of incentives from the city of Chicago to invest in Austin too, because it was like a really bad city, like village or city before then. But it's really coming around. So, I'm glad I invested there.
For sure, man. Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at this. I'm just looking at like here I am, right? I'm the data guy, right? And so because all agents have so much access to information, right? So take a look at this. Take a look at this. Actually, it's actually a better look from here. So 10 years ago in Austin, you could buy a 2 to 4 unit property for under $100,000. So January in 2025, the median sale price in Austin was $80,000. The median sale price today, 10 years later, is $354,000. So yeah, there's been some hell.
So when you first said that, it was 2015, right?
I mean,
or 2020.
So 2020. All right, hold on. Let me go back.
Well, no, I think you might have misspoke because you said in 2025 you could buy it for.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm sorry.
Make sure I understand your date.
2015.
I'm not sure about that.
Sorry,
2015. Okay.
Sorry. All right. Okay. Go on. Sorry. Let me try that again. All right.
Thank you.
January of 2015. So 10 years ago.
Okay.
You could buy a property for $80,000.
What?
Wow.
10 years ago. And now the median sale price in the same neighborhood is $354,000.
I was gonna say, man,
That is it in just 10 years. Right? So when we look on a 5-year basis, 5 years ago, so in 2020, $235,000 was the median sale price. So when did you buy your property?
2022.
2022. All right, median sale price in 2022 was about $300,000, and now it's at $354,000. Okay, so but just again, like when we're looking at when we're trying to find neighborhoods of where to invest, I mean, I love looking. I think we were talking about this off air. Is if you can get specific stats about your neighborhood and where the historical trends have been, it just helps you make better real estate decisions.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like having the sauce. But I want to argue that, or not argue necessarily, but I want to say, dude, 350, you're not going to get a 4 unit for 350 in Austin.
Oh, this is a 2 to 4 unit. So
okay.
So right.
Oh,
so
I
it's
see
it's
what you're
it's the multifamily, right? Yeah, not a 4 unit specifically, but it's the 2 to 4 unit space. And so it's so it could be a 2 unit, it could be a 4 unit. It's really kind of what is the median sale price of that property type.
I see.
So that's what that's looking at.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, in Austin, in 2022, you could buy a 4 unit for like $320 to. Mine was a little on the high end, but I think that was because of the proximity to Oak Park, like $380. Now you're not finding anything like under 440, like under 450 over there for a 4-unit, like maybe $500,000, bro, like probably $500,000. And it's just like me looking at it, I'd be getting scared for like new investors. I'd be like, bro, prices were not this high when I started. Prices were not this high. And I'm like, yo.
Well, and that's why you don't want to wait, right? Because a lot of people are waiting for like, rates to come down. The reality is that we're just under this supply crunch. Yeah, right? We don't have the inventory that's available because it all stems back to this COVID phase when everybody locked in these low rates, and because they locked in low rates, they're not incentivized to sell, and so it keeps the supply of listings coming to the market pretty low. And overall, we went through a big demand boom during COVID where people wanted housing, and so they all got snatched up, and now people aren't letting them go. And so when you have a lack of supply, you're going to have an upward pressure price. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing upward pressure prices. And Chicago has been one of the leaders right now, actually, this past year, of the whole country because of our lack of supply. Because we have not, we're nowhere near where we were pre-pandemic levels. We're still down like 40%. Where we were like pre-pandemic, like a few years prior to the pandemic, our inventory levels are down still 40% from where they were previously, right? So that is a massive like reduction in the amount of supply that's in the marketplace, and why Chicago is accelerating while like some of these other cities, Florida or states are not, right? You're actually seeing like a correction in Florida. You're seeing a correction in Texas right now because there was a glut. There was a glut of inventory that's coming to the market because COVID caused people to go to those states, right? There was a big migration towards Florida. Florida was the free and open state, right? They didn't have as many policies that were going into when we had COVID, right? And so there was a lot of people that moved down to Florida for those specific reasons. Well, and then they got Airbnbs. Dude, I couldn't tell you how many people actually. It was a family member was like, "Hey, we should get an Airbnb down in Florida." Seemed like a good idea, but everybody was doing it. And now the Airbnb market is kind of like. It's suffering there. Yeah. Right?
Because I'm already knowing. I mean, I ain't got no Airbnbs down there, but I know the market down there in Florida is not doing too hot right now.
Yeah. We actually took a vacation down to Florida, and I couldn't believe it. Just driving down the highway, I was like, dude, for sale sign, for sale sign, for sale sign, for sale sign. It was everywhere, dude. Like it is a drastically different market in Florida than it is here in Chicago. Chicago's very safe right now. Very safe, especially when you look at the metrics. So
can I ask a question again on the VA loan with regards to rates? Are they relatively the same market rates, or is there any variance? You get savings or higher rate because you're not putting enough as much down?
I think I do get a little bit of a higher rate sometimes since I'm not putting much down. Okay, but that never really hurts me. I always run the numbers and. Cash flow is the most important thing for me. And like a lot of people be like, don't use the VA loan because, you're going to be upside down on your mortgage. But we're in Chicago. We're seeing that appreciation here.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
So like that doesn't even apply to me. Like I could still put in 0% down and like still see mass appreciation because of like the market I'm in and still cash flow while house hacking. And to go deeper in that, well, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
To go deeper in that, also do the renting by room thing to help
let's talk about that.
Hold on before we get into that, because as part of the VA as part of the VA loan there is a VA funding fee, and the VA funding fee can be kind of expensive. But as I look at your settlement statement, you don't have a VA funding fee on here. So what happened? Do you know why yours got waived?
Because of my disability rating.
Because of the disability rating. Okay. So that's another benefit to that is that if you have a disability rating, you can get that VA funding fee waived. Yeah.
So let me ask, do typical loan officers or even agents know those things? Or are those things you had to know and had to ask for to get those things?
Some of them do, but the ones who don't deal with veterans don't.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because the VA funding fee can be pretty hefty.
Yes, it can.
I'm just wondering, are those like questions they're asking you as you're putting in your application, or are those things you need to bring to the table and be like, hey, look, I am eligible for all of these things, so make sure you put it on.
I'm sure that they ask you if you say that you're a veteran, and there's probably on the application there's probably a designation in terms of like disability or what. Do you think?
Yeah, I think it depends on who you go with and how thorough they are. Because you could possibly go with somebody who's not that thorough.
Yeah,
and and not turn out well because they're like, oh, you're a veteran?
Right. You're just leaving money on the table. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason on Grok again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay,
I'll be on ChatGPT all the time.
so if you did so the VA funding fee, if you're less than 5% down, it's 2%. It's 2.15% of the loan amount. So it ranges from like 1.25 to 2.15.
Okay.
For the
Yeah,
VA funding
that's,
fee. So
that's
it's
significant.
It
That's
is-
significant.
it's
Yeah.
totally significant. Yeah. So the fact that you were able to get that waived is, like, again, it's another benefit that if you don't necessarily know that, like, the power of being a veteran, and if you have a disability, you can save on down payment amount, you can save on the VA funding fee, you can save on property taxes.
There's VA down payment assistant programs too, just in case
Oh,
you're
There you
not.
go.
If you're not eligible, then okay.
There's VA down assistance of payment programs that you can use. There's VA programs to help if you're behind on your mortgage. I'm gonna try to send over all those resources
Sure.
to you, so
Yeah.
we could have it like maybe in the show notes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But all types of things. Hold on, where is it? Oh yeah, programs to help with mortgage. There's a partial claims program where, like, if you miss a mortgage payment, they allow you to like pay that on the back end, I think, like of your mortgage payment to help with like veterans with their mortgage. There's loss mitigations options. There's VA loan technicians where the VA will pair you with a loan technician that will look at your loan, like, and who's your loan servicer, and help you navigate what you can and can't do, how to make things easier for you and everything. There's the Veterans Housing Alliance Homes Buyer Grant Program. And that's just another like little program or grant veterans can use to help them with down payment assistance, and a bunch of more like programs veterans can use. One thing I do want to highlight, and a lot of veterans face this because you might be coming home from service and might not be getting along with your peeps. This wasn't the case for me. I'm blessed to have peeps that allowed me to stay at their place when I came back from service, because I didn't just have an apartment where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hop back in there and like got to find a job and everything. But unless you have a job getting out of service, if you are, facing homeless issues, or if you're couch surfing, living at, a homie's place, or, your parents not going to let you stay there forever, please look into the HUD-VASH program. Is basically Section 8 for veterans. And if you are going through any of that, they'll pair you with a caseworker to help you with your VA stuff, like appointments, like maybe getting a disability rating, like, health things wise. And they'll place you in a home or a place that accepts Section 8, but it's just for veterans. And it's like a really streamlined process. And there's a lot of veterans that qualify for it. And yeah, like, the government has like money set aside for veterans who are struggling with housing, and it takes about 2 months. It's way quicker than Section 8 for normal civilians.
Yeah. Wow, that's another powerful program.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't think we asked you, what branch did you serve in?
Air Force.
You're in the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
I almost joined the Marines, but my grandmother talked me into joining into the Air Force. That was like the best thing ever, bro. Because like the Air Force is treated the best out of all the other branches.
Really?
Like, yeah, I was talking like that. I was talking to some Army guy a couple days ago. I just met him on like the river, Chicago River.
Yeah.
River North or whatever. Or the River Walk. That's what I was thinking of. He was telling me like the first time he went to the DFAC, he was like, wow, you guys are eating like this? Like, because the Army sleeps in tents. Like, we kind of sleep in like hotels, and it's crazy. It's crazy bad. Like, the Air Force is treated way better than other branches. Even like our
Why do you
dining
think that
facilities.
is?
Man, because of toxic military culture. Like, I mean, I get you need to make Army folks like, tough and go through things, but you don't have to treat them that whole way through their like enlistment. Like, you feel me? They definitely can deserve better and still go out and perform the mission and do the duties that we need to do. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, in my opinion, like, it's just old military mentality, and there's still a lot of old military mentality things that's not really fair, that's happening like in certain like areas of the military. That small reform is happening, small change is happening. So people going into the military to make a difference, people going into politics to make a difference, like all of that really matters because it's like sacred cowbells type things. Like they're like, oh, we've been doing this for forever, or this and that. They had a rule where like that. They had a couple rules that were like racially insensitive to like certain demographics that's being in review and being revised like to today because they like it's just like, yo, this is a different time now. This is a different Air Force. We don't want to be like that. So I mean, like I said, 10 years ago they were beating on people like they would like it's called wall to wall counseling. Yeah, they will beat on you to like correct you and everything. And even like, I mean, some veterans would call it like fake wars or like, what the hell are we doing out here, where wars have been over like in Afghanistan or other deployed areas. And they just have soldiers just there. I guess, I don't know, maybe if anything kicks off or anything, but they're not even really fighting a war. Like they're just there in terrible conditions, like waiting to be like called back and everything. And I've had like friends like be frustrated, like, why the F are we out here? Like we can be somewhere else doing something. Like, why are we out here? It's hot as hell. Like it's a little bit of a hostile environment, so the civilians don't really want us here. Like, type thing. And yeah, that exit to Afghanistan was crazy. Like, I mean, not too crazy, but they finally left Afghanistan, left a bunch of like, I mean, they couldn't take everything with them, but left weapons behind. Like, yeah, it was crazy. The military could be a crazy place.
People that were over there when all that exit was happening.
Yeah, my homie was well, not the exit, but my homie was in Afghanistan and everything. And it's funny because I mean, like, even when I was deployed in Kuwait, which wasn't necessarily a combat zone, but I did see certain things pop off base, like here and there. And but we never had like mortar attacks on our base basically. And my homie, he had like mortar attacks on his base, but he'd never take it. Like, he's like, it's not too serious. They attack one side of the base and like the alarm goes off at 3 a.m. in the morning. And dude, I'd never forget. Is it okay to cuss on the podcast?
Yeah.
Dude, one time he said that shit went off at 4 a.m. in the morning. It was like, fuck it. If I die, I die. He just put the covers back over his head. Because he just got so tired of
it. You get like desensitized to it, basically.
Desensitized to it. So like, yeah, like you learn how to make funnies out of the best situations or like just bad situations. Even when I was deployed, like, still had fun times like out there and everything, and like very memorable times and everything. So I'm still grateful for the whole experience, to be honest.
Would you do it again?
Like if I get the VA loan and everything, absolutely. No questions.
Wow.
No questions.
All your service and your deployment was worth it for the VA loan.
Hell yeah.
How long were you in the service for?
I was in the service for 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
I only did a 4-year series pretty much.
How long were you deployed?
I was deployed for about like 8 months.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I was a vehicle maintainer or mechanic when I was in the Air Force.
Okay.
Yeah. It was okay. I mean, I wanted to go in for like IT and computers. I tested for it, but they was like, "Nah, we're gonna make you a mechanic because we need mechanics." And I'm like, "Well, fuck it, I guess I'm gonna be a mechanic."
Yeah. So then, how did you learn all your IT stuff? Where'd that come from? Dude,
I just had a passion for it, and I started like when I was getting out of the military, I was like, "Yo, I want to get in IT. That's what I want to do." I did have the opportunity to go into the reserves and do like IT in the reserves and everything, but it was reserves like, once a month, and dude, like that type of IT was nothing compared to like, because the Air Force and the military has their proprietary systems that they use that no one else uses. So you're not like, I mean, you're using some things like Outlook and everything, but once you go into the private sector, like now that I'm working like in the private sector, I get paid a lot more money. I have a lot more freedom, and like there's so much more tools, and like my knowledge has grown so like APIs programming, bro. If I was still like doing that stuff in the Air Force, I wouldn't even be nowhere near the level I am at today. Mm-hmm. So like it really took getting into the private sector and like getting into a company that allowed me to just attack different things that need to be attacked to where I was really able to grow with like my IT knowledge and everything. And it's really been a blessing even in my real estate journey. Sorry if I'm too far from the mic.
No, you're all good.
No, yeah,
you're all
okay,
good.
yeah.
I have to ask you, because being an ethical hacker, what's the outfit you wear when you're an ethical hacker? Because everything is always like hood up, sunglasses on, or mask on. you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you just when you were doing that ethical hacking, would you do any of that stuff?
Dude, like, I mean, so my girlfriend makes fun of me sometimes, but I'd like, Rose, it's normal. Like, you see, like, it's gotten way more popular than it was.
Yeah.
When I was doing it back in 2020.
Yeah.
But like when I was working with people, it was really like older, like kind of a little bit of older age guys, and they're 35, and like they're like, yeah, in the age range of 35, maybe 30 to 35. Or like you do meet quirky people in IT. I'm not gonna lie, but you meet them in IT because they have special abilities that help them in that, like that no one really else has. Like, I have a friend who is a veteran, and like, dude, this guy is like a god at math. Like,
Really?
yeah, like he like calculus 2 like is nothing to him. Like he finds solace and like it calms him down and everything. And even with me, like I said, I have an affinity to find loopholes and end up in trying to do things my way. So like that helped me when it came to, and curiosity, and I liked IT. It helped me when it came to ethical hacking and everything. I just thought I was like, wow, these guys will pay us to do this. Like this is awesome. Like, and there's different types too. You know, there's like hacking, you know, technology and everything, or a network infrastructure. And then there's also physical penetration testing. And I did that for, like, I didn't do it, I get paid for it, but I was a practitioner. I would like train and like do little stuff around the house, and like at my workplace, of course, letting my boss know, like, hey, this door can be broken into because this lock is installed wrong. Or there's this like tool like that you could use for hotel door rooms or in server rooms, where you stick it underneath the door, and then like it flips up and it grabs the handle, and you can kind of like pull it to open the door from the other side.
Dude, wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of doors, like if you go to like there's some doors that have sensors at the top, because when employees are walking out, it wants the door sensor to trigger, and then like it unlocks the door to walk out. And I learned from a Black Hills conference and Black Hills training. They're like this ethical hacking training that goes on in South Dakota, that, you know, you could take a vape pen and you can blow it in a sensor, and like it'll mess with the temperature gauge in it, and it'll unlock the door. So like you just go in the crevice of the crack, like rip from the pen, and then like blow it, and then like you could like yank the door a bunch of times, and it'll yank open.
What in the world?
But like,
You just gave people a lot of tips.
Yeah, you just gave people. Yeah, dude, you're dropping knowledge bombs everywhere here. This is awesome.
dude, but like company and like hotel rooms, even hotel key card rooms, and like hotel rooms, you might, I don't know if you heard about it a lot, but it's easy to break into some hotel room doors and everything from certain things. But like those hotels need to pay people like us, so we could show them like, yo, this is how you could protect against that. Like, this is how you could do things so you don't have to, I don't know, rely on these systems or have antiquated like locks and everything on your doors and everything. Not to say you have them, but I'm just giving an example.
We always have the deadbolt at the hotel.
Yeah, that's why you gotta have. Yeah, that's why you need to flip that.
Yeah, no, can't come in.
Even when it comes to connecting to that Wi-Fi, you better make sure you're actually connected.
yeah.
Yeah, you didn't give Toy our Wi-Fi password, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
It's okay, I don't need it.
Probably not.
Shit.
Oh my gosh.
All right, dude. Well, this has been awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna wrap this up here. So how we wrap up these shows is just we talk about our biggest takeaway of the conversation.
Okay.
And so, Rachel, I'm gonna flip it over to you. Biggest takeaway from this conversation today.
I think the entitlement piece, being able to be split across different properties or across different loans. I had definitely always thought you could hold one VA loan the same way you can hold one FHA loan, and really it's a pot. You can't go over this cumulative pot, but you can split it among multiple properties or multiple loans, and that is a really, really valuable thing to know.
Right. Yeah.
Really valuable.
Yeah. I think just to kind of piggyback off of this is that there's really a lot of veterans just don't know what they have. And I think you kind of brought the light to that, is that there is, like, you got to do your own research. And I think we're just in an age right now where you got to do your own research about everything. You know, you can't rely on, you know, your neighbor or your mom, your dad. You literally have to go do the work yourself. You read 2,000 pages of the VA handbook. Like, wild.
Well,
right?
and I want to piggyback off that too, because it's so specific to each veteran. I think that was something that you mentioned too, is it's like, well, I'm eligible for this because I have this, or, you know, somebody mentions you don't do the VA loan because you're going to be underwater. Well, maybe in your market, but that's not true in the market that you're in Chicago. So it's like, it really is so specific to each veteran, where they're at, where they're trying to buy, what their status is. It is not a one size fits all. So you really do need to do your own research and understand your own capability and
for sure
eligibility, I guess, is a better way to put it.
Yeah.
If you're a veteran, definitely go back to a state where you have where you have a lot of benefits. Like here in Illinois and in Texas, they treat veterans like kings. So
that's good to know. Those
cool.
two states,
yeah. So like if you want to go, if you're getting out in the military, go to a state that'll treat you really right, like a king. Because there are states that'll do that.
Are there states to avoid that you know of?
Yeah, like I mean, states that like don't have any benefits for veterans. So I'm like, why go there? Like, why go there at all?
I never even thought about that. It's
I didn't
is your
either.
state that you live in a veteran-friendly state?
Yeah. I guess it makes sense because there's like retirement-friendly states, right? Like there's states that are more beneficial to retire in than not. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and just and Cook County would be one of them because it's a high market, expensive market, right? So you do get that upper limit of, the eligibility of the VA entitlement. Yeah.
Yep. And like on the back end of that, when it comes to investing, if you want to do that, make sure you invest. Like I've invested places where the infrastructure was already there. Like I bought a place next to Oak Park, or I bought a place next to a college that has that type of infrastructure, has that type of activity going on. Even if you're in the next neighborhood over, like that stuff carries over. So that definitely plays a huge part in everything. And I just want to also go back over or mention business resources for veterans as well. There's like VetBiz, the SBVA, and there's even maybe some business colleges in your area that gives free college courses to veterans to do some powerful stuff. I know out here in Illinois, they have the Joseph Business College, and Joseph Business College is they're global, and I really underestimated how powerful they are. But they have any classes on, federal contracting, how to do this, how to do that, like really important, great stuff that, is just free for veterans. So, a couple more things, sorry. Mentors are important. Having, spreadsheets for your contractors and everything as a landlord, having your vendors and everything, just those people you can go to that has the deals on everything. I have the hookup when it comes to kitchen cabinets, bro. Like, bro, I can do like kitchen remodels for like $5,000 because granite countertop hookup, I got it. Like cabinet hookup, I got it. So
that's awesome.
Building those relationships are important too. Last but not least, knowing when operations have gotten too big for you. So don't be afraid to hire a virtual assistant. I'm not saying someone who lives in the United States, because people in the United States, you need to pay like healthcare and you got to pay them, minimum wage. But virtual assistants, people in the Philippines or people in other countries who are more than willing to go above and beyond for what you're like, for like $7 an hour, $8, because that's a lot where they're from, and you don't have to worry about like the taxes or anything, because Upwork just does it for you. You don't have to worry about medical care and everything. Like, it's great. And did we go over renting by room?
Oh shoot, no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Give us a quick breakdown on that.
Renting by room can definitely 10x your cash flow. If a unit rents for $1,500, if you rent per room, you could probably do it, like depending on the area, anywhere from 6 to $1,000 per room, and that has exponentially grown my cash flow for my properties, as well as using the tax deductions in my unit 2/3. Like if you have like one roommate, then everything in the unit that you buy in your unit, if you stay in the unit, like, and I basically, if I stay in the unit and I have a roommate and I buy a flat screen TV, well, that's for the roommate and that's for me. So half of that is tax deductible because it's used for the rental property, as well as the fridge, as well as the dishwasher, as well as anything you upgrade in a unit. So a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't want to live with a roommate, this, and that. Bro, I get to choose my roommates. So if I want to live with an IT roommate who works out and like we're both like operating at a high level and everything, helping each other and everything. They pay me to live here. And I get tax deductible write-offs on like half the stuff I buy in my. It's just a sweet deal. Like,
So is that how you're doing it? You're kind of finding people you know to help live with you, or is it you're posting it on Airbnb, like by room? What's
stuff like that? Just posting it on like certain vetted websites, so I can vet out my roommates before they come in, because I don't just accept anybody. Like I'm really picky when it comes to my roommates.
Is that so? What do you use?
So I use Roomies, Spare Room, Facebook Marketplace sometimes.
Oh, okay. So that not Airbnb.
I would be down for Airbnb. I haven't done it yet. I honestly want to do Airbnb for expats. I want to be that. I want to get in that niche market because, like you said, the traveling the world thing. Like I've been in expat homes and they welcome me. Like when I've been to Paris. She welcomed me. She told me about the whole thing. When I've been to like different places throughout Germany or Barcelona, they're just so welcoming. And I'm like, yo, they would like when I tell them about Chicago, they get hyped. They like, oh, this and that. So I'm like, yo, I would love to open my like space open to different people from around the world, vetted people, of course, who would just like to experience Chicago.
Dude, I love it, man. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Killer.
What? Are you willing? Sorry, are you willing to be a resource then for other veterans? You're dropping so many like valuable resources. Like, can people reach out to you and ask you specific questions? Okay, you're willing to be that mentor now to help the next person.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Absolutely, no problem at all. I actually built a AI bot to help veterans too, so I could like drop the link to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet. Hell yeah.
5 books.
Yeah, how could they reach out to you?
You can reach out. I'm a I don't know. I guess I should give you like, I don't know. That's a good question. Like, I guess
you can give them a phone number. You can give them your email. You can give them your Facebook.
My email,
whatever you want to do.
Email and Facebook.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do it.
Book recommendations.
Oh.
Top 2 books. One on business and one on personal growth.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you read it?
I did.
Oh,
it took me like I think 3 or 4 years into our real estate journey to read it, even though that was like the first one you read. But yeah, that one for sure.
Yeah, no, that one's great. And then what I really like is honestly like Traction is a great book because it's like how to establish a business. Like as because I own my own brokerage, and like as you start to you kind of get past the first couple of years of like startup phase, and then you're trying to like really establish like what your identity is and what your business goals are. That was a really tremendous book. But then I also like from the investment side, Brandon Turner, man, he put together this I can't remember what it is, but it's a 2-part series. It's on multifamily investing, but it was like there's a part 1 and there's a part 2, and honestly, like as everybody starts in real estate investing with like these 1 to 2 unit properties, 3, 4, like in the residential space, but like there is a process to transition into the 5+, right? And so that second part book that he has, the book, I'm pretty sure it's called like the book on real estate investing or something.
I got that book.
But yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. And so they give you the models, they give you how to, analyze the deals, and it's a really great elementary and advanced book to read. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah. How about yourself?
So have you read the 4 cash quadrants from Rich Dad Poor Dad?
No, is that the second or the third one?
Dude,
we own it.
That's gonna be second.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
You're gonna love like 4 crash quadrants is what really nailed it down to me. Like really nailed it down and like helped me like for the rest of my life, learning the difference between an employee, investor, business owner, and self-employed. Like I'm telling you, you're going to love it. For me, growing as a man, so I did mental, physical, emotional, you know, business wise and everything. I like to cover those pillars, so I'm gonna just run through them real quick. For mental, me growing as a man and being more mature, Marcus Aurelius, the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. He's a Stoic philosopher, awesome guy. A lot of what he says aligns with the Bible. I also like to read the Bible for that as well. He was the emperor of Rome. He had complete control over everything. He still chose to live a Stoic life and was like better than a lot of like, he didn't go crazy like Julius and just stab random people on the streets because he could. He was a very noble man. He was like had a wonderful mindset. Awesome guy. For strategy, discipline, and all that, the Book of Five Rings by Musashi Masamoto. Famous samurai in the time of the feudal period where it was custom to fight with one sword. He challenged it and he was the first guy to fight with 2 swords. Had over 50 duels to the death, won them all. Very famous samurai, has statues of him and everything. A lot of samurai nowadays are actually modeled after him. Love his book, like good stuff in it. The 10X Rule, Grant Cardone, awesome book. 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And for real estate, I want to tell the audience this. I've read a lot of Brandon Turner's and Bigger Pockets podcast books on real estate, but the most comprehensive book on real estate that I've come across so far is Real Estate for Dummies.
Hey.
Real Estate for Dummies is super I've read that book and I was like, it's stuff in here that even like the Bigger Pockets podcast didn't even really cover sometimes. So Real Estate for Dummies is a very long and powerful book. It has it has everything in there.
That's funny.
Like, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I read
Those
that
dummies
one.
book. Yeah. There's so many dummy books that are out
There
there.
are, yeah.
I love the Dummy series. I love the Dummy series. Hey.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
for
All right,
sure.
well, Toy. Well, it was a pleasure, man, having
Thank
you
you
on.
for having
Thank
me
you.
on. Hell yeah.
Thank you for coming on and dropping all this great stuff. And I guess to everyone else, if you found any value in the show, which I know you did, please share it. And get this message out there. There's so many veterans that could really use some help and really break into real estate. And Toy really just kind of broke it down here for us. So this is super, super valuable. So please share the show, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Peace. Veteran special.